much
I feel restored.
My teeth from that Malibu, I feel like they're going to fall off.
That's why I was like, I'll bring it just in case.
I feel
just to taste it. But
I've got a sugar rush.
It was, it's far too sweet.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Like, that doesn't even taste like pina colada.
Yeah, it's just America though. Like, I've learned. I'm still scarred from, remember when I had that lemonade from Charlie's?
You've never had a lemonade since?
Oh my god, I don't trust lemonades now. Because it was just so sugary.
Did you return it? Because you didn't drink it, so what did you didn't throw it, I'm sure.
I don't know. I think you were like, return it, like give it back or exchange it. And I was like, no, I've already like drank some. And you were like, it's fine. Yeah, so fine. Yeah, that's obviously, I think that's my favourite thing about America is that I could literally get a sandwich, eat all of it and be like, you know what? I wasn't quite satisfied. I'd like my money back, and they'd literally just give it to you. But in the UK,
they'd try and
laugh
fight
at you.
They'd be like, "Can we get you anything else?"
Yeah,
and
literally.
Like, no, I've lost the appetite now.
Mm.
I'm like, all right.
I know. Remember when we went to, what was that Italian place?
Noble Crust.
We went to this Italian restaurant and we didn't like our food, and I think we ate like a bit of it, and we were just like, nah.
We tried because we didn't want to. We
so
didn't want problems.
Yeah.
But the pasta sauce was dead.
So it was what was it again?
It was
like
supposed to be
chicken parm with like spaghetti on the side with this dead tomato sauce.
The tomato sauce.
Just everything. Everything was wrong with the meal. Like the chicken was like, I've never seen a chicken breast that big. I thought it was a whole fucking baby chicken. It was so big, and then the pasta sauce was so bland. Nothing was right about it, and yeah, we were like, we don't like it, and she was like, I'm so sorry, can I get you anything else? And we were like, no. Luckily we had like sides, so we were like, you know what, we're actually okay. And yeah, she just took it off our bill. So 100% if that happened here in England, I mean, that would not
see
run.
That's one thing that I've been spoiled about. Like I kind of need that.
You're used to that.
I kind of need that.
I know, it's
so a little bit of content. I have lived in the Americas for
too long.
I want to say about over 13 years. And you know, we do this long distance.
We've been
doing this long distance for the whole time. So obviously I go back home, she comes here, and I feel like there's many differences. I know one of the things that you definitely struggled with the first time was the taxes.
Oh.
Like how you'd go to the shop and it'd be like $2.99, and then you'd get $2.99 ready, and then it'd be like
£20, $20.
It'd be like $3.75. It's like, what? Oh,
yeah.
It's taxes. That, and I feel like the forcing of the tips that they do, which I still struggle with.
Yeah, the tipping, because like in the UK, I feel like you only tip like, well, I'd only ever tip like a nail lady. I wouldn't really tip like anything else. Yeah,
or like I remember when my parents and I used to go out, like we tip if it was like exquisite service. Like you've gone above and beyond.
Obviously like restaurants and stuff, like I get restaurants you can. I mean, it's not like you're not forced to, it's like optional. But over here it's like people genuinely like
you have to leave a tip.
Yeah.
It grinds my gears because I'm always looked at as so stingy, because it's like, and then it's not even that, you're not only just asking me to leave money for what, but you're asking me to leave like a high percent, like 18%, 20%, whatever. And like $5 is basically about the minimum you can leave. Like you're looked at like cheap, leaving $5.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you get 2 from me, babes. You really are.
It's just too much.
It's not because it's like, and then they're like, oh, you know, it's not their fault. It's because they don't get paid enough. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I do. But I've got to worry about myself. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
I know.
I've got to figure out what I'm doing, and then everyone always says to me, oh, if you ever work in the service industry, you'll change your mind. Not necessarily. But yeah.
I feel like, especially because you guys have to pay for, I know you obviously will know a lot about this, you've got to pay for healthcare and shit like that, so
which is usually
you've
included.
got enough to pay for,
and that's included in your job. So like typically you obviously need your job to then get healthcare, so you can't just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave. So like in the service industry, tips are like really, really, really needed. And you know, I get it. And I will tip when I have great service. But if you if I'm sitting there and I have to ask you for water, I've got to ask you for things, you're not getting shit from me. Or if I've done a takeout. Do you remember when we went to 1-800 Lucky? And then like he flipped the screen and you were like, what's this price?
What? What's 1-800 Lucky?
The Chinese place where we had that amazing like
the dim sum
spread.
Yeah.
And like he had flipped the screen and it said like you were about to pay and you were looking at the site and you were like, what's this additional cost?
Yeah.
And then he saw the tip and you were like,
this ain't my bill, man.
Tip.
Yeah.
And you were like, no tip. And I'm like, you didn't do anything.
Yeah,
sorry.
Literally, for what?
You
just
flipping a screen. You did that. You turn it around and let me do it.
Yeah, cheeky. We had to do everything ourselves. We had to seat ourselves. We had to go up and get our food. Like, what am I tipping for? What's happened? What service have I received?
That's true. I need to stop doing that on the table.
Fine.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like hidden things in like America that you just do without knowing. Like you're just supposed, like it's always a thing. You're supposed to tip.
And like I think the biggest thing that annoys me, I think over here is your like working life. The difference between the UK and the US. Obviously, like, well, you haven't worked as such in the UK, but if you did, you'd understand like the difference a lot more. Like you lot get treated like slaves here. So
I feel like America has a very unhealthy work-life balance.
Oh yeah, 100%. There is no life balance over here, and it's sad. Like you guys are you're supposed to just wake up, work until you die. That's literally all.
And I feel like there's no kind of avenues. Whereas in England, you know, I don't want to say you can go on disability, but like if there's an issue, there's something wrong with you and you need help, you have options. It's not like, okay, we'll work, you know. But I feel like over here, because I've worked a good couple jobs, good few jobs, and they're just ruthless. There's always just like, I can't come in. Well, who are you sending? Like, I'm sorry, what do you want to send my granddad? Like, what do you want? And they're like, well, we need you. We need you. We need you. Well, then close the shop. How about that? If you need me that much and I'm sick, close the bloody store. Yeah.
It's so peak.
That's how I got fired from my first job.
I thought it was, are you talking about, am I allowed to say it? The place you got fired from? Oh, no, you're talking about the first place. Yeah. I feel like we had a similar conversation like this the other day. So, at the Gap is what I'm talking about. Was it because of C when he came to town?
So, basically, I had some friends come into town. And I had told them, I think this is going to upset me, but we'll talk about that later. I had told them that I had work the next day. And we were going to one of my friends at the time, her university, which was like an hour away. And I was like, yeah, cool, but I got to be back. I'm opening at 9. And they're like, yeah. We got to the university, everyone got high. And I'm like, I gotta go. And then they were like, don't worry, we'll drive you back in the morning. I was like, okay. So slept, set my alarm for like 6, 7, woke up the person, hey, we gotta go. They're like, I can't drive. I cannot drive you. So I had to call out of work. And I remember saying, hey, there's an emergency. The car's broken down. I can't get in. My mum's at work. My dad's at work. Rah, rah, rah. And she was like, but we need you. I have no one to open up this department. And I was like, I'm so sorry. There's no way I can get to work. And I said, I don't have any other mean of transportation. I can't take the bus. There's nothing for me to do. And she was like, so whenever your last day was your last day. Goodbye. And I was like, they felt so bad though, to be fair. They were like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you should be.
It's just so ridiculous. Like,
I mean,
so
I got
young.
rehired because I was fired.
Yeah,
wrong.
unfairly.
It was wrong dismissal, but
yeah,
it was the principle of it. It was the principle.
Yeah, that's so sad. I feel like in England it's just so different. Like, probably shouldn't say this, but I've literally called in, not my current job, my previous job. I would literally just like wake up, one eye open, grab my phone, sit, can't come in today, and literally just chuck my phone on the other side of my bed, just roll over and go back to bed. So sometimes, like, if I knew, I did this a lot, if I knew I was like, I just don't feel like going into work tomorrow, I would compose the message the night before, in the morning, set my alarm, wake up, do the whole one eye thing, copy, paste, off I go back to bed.
Yeah, no.
It was that deep. I'm just, you know, them days where you're just like, I can't
100%.
I can't stomach going to work tomorrow. I was like, I can't do it. And you just think of like your commute and like being at work and then going home. And I was like, I felt sick, like physically sick.
100%.
So I was like, I can't do it. So yeah, it was as simple as that really. In the UK, it was just always like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I hope you feel better soon. And then the next day they do the whole like, oh, how are you feeling, stuff like that. Yeah, they're actually so nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just still feeling a bit rough, I'm just gonna take it easy today. And you've got to like do this whole lie and stuff, but other than that, it's pretty easy.
The only time I've had an easy, like, I'm not coming in today, don't look for me, is when I worked with just like really cool people. When I was just like, you know what, I can't come in, I can't do this, like, I'm sending in this person, or I'm like, oh, can this person take their shift? But that was one job out of the however many I've had. And it was a short time. It wasn't like, it was as soon as one person left, it was like, oh no, you have to be there on time, you've got to do this. I remember when I worked at this store, like a high-end store, and when this district manager came in, we had to dress to the nines. The reason actually, I was going to say, I wonder if I can sue them for my bunion, because that's why I haven't. Anyways, and that's another thing about America. They sue left, right, and centre. Wow.
Oh, yeah. God.
We had to dress up to their nines when he came in. And their shit was expensive.
Wait, who was this?
This is BCBG.
No, I know, but who did you have to dress up for?
Lewis. He was the district manager. Like, he would come in and we had to, like, kiss ass.
Yeah.
And I came in and I was like, first, they always came for me because I never wore any makeup. So I came in and I was dressed up. My man sends our other manager, as I clocked in, to the back saying, Lewis says you have to go home. And I was like, why? And he says, you're in last season's outfit. And I was like, bring Lewis back here, let me fight him. And I said to her,
oh my God.
I was like, listen, I don't have my own transportation at the time. I was like, if I go home, I'm not coming back.
100%.
I'm not coming back. And she was like, okay, we'll see what we can do. And I'm like,
even if, the thing is that, even if you had transport to get home, I'm not wasting that petrol. To go home for what? For such a stupid reason.
Send me home because I was in last season's
so
trousers.
Oh my God.
So basically his reasoning was, if someone said to me, oh, I really like your trousers, no one can pick them up in the store. I'm like, buy me an outfit then, Lewis. How about that?
Exactly.
Buy me an outfit and I will happily rock it for the day.
That is so unbelievable.
It's mad.
I can't believe it.
It's so mad.
But yeah, and the whole suing thing, that's a subject that's close to my heart. I wish sometimes. Have you ever almost sued someone here? You've been here for years, so have you ever gone down that route?
No, but my parents have been trying to make me do it. My dad specifically.
Why? For your surgeries?
For the hospital, yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I think I agree on that one. I think we should look into it. Seriously.
It's just so much work.
I know, but it'd be worth it.
It's not even
money.
that, it's just so much work. It's just like, I don't like the idea of pleading my case and making me sound like a charity case. You know what
victim.
I mean?
Yeah.
And be like, I'm so poorly now. So, but when I think about the whole concept of it, 100% I should. Yeah. Maybe like at some point I will. Who knows? I don't know. But
before you leave,
I know my granddad sued.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
So he went to a store and they like, you know how they have like chairs on display?
Mm-hmm.
He went to sit on the chair. Usually the chairs have like do not sit.
Oh.
Don't know where that sign was. So basically it was on a platform.
Yeah.
And he sat on the chair and the leg gave way and he fell and he hurt his shoulder.
Shit.
And he had to have, I think he had to have surgery or he had to have something done.
Oh.
And he sued them. He was like, no one said I couldn't sit on the chair. And I was like,
wow. Was it a lengthy process?
Mm-mm. I think it took less than a month. But that's not the first time he sued. So he had like, I think he just like was like calling up his lawyer.
Yeah.
And
lawyer
saying,
on speed
calm
dial.
down. We have another case.
Yeah.
This one could
honestly,
be
if I lived here, that would be me too. I'd be suing left, right, and centre.
I think my dad's even done it, to be fair.
Really? No way.
I think he has. But I can't remember the exact details, but I'm pretty sure he has. I feel like he has.
Wow.
It's just, it's lingo that they throw around. Like, I'm going to contact my lawyers. And it's like, oh, okay. Because there's so many little, like, counter-sues you can do.
Yeah.
Like, I literally could sue someone for just making me sad. To the point where I had to get therapy.
If you get the wrong dip with your food, you could sue them.
What did I read? I read this thing recently where that was it. This woman sued... Sorry, this woman sued Pop-Tart for not having enough strawberry filling in the strawberry Pop-Tart.
Shut up. Stop it.
It was fraud. She said it was fraud.
Fraud! Oh my...
And it didn't have enough strawberries in the strawberry thing.
Oh my God. Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
The lawyer was actually like, oh yeah, you've got a case, girl.
She won.
Let's get on it.
She won.
Come on, stop it.
She won.
Honestly, they haven't got enough to do. That's embarrassing. Imagine being like, I've got a big court case coming up. I've got to get to bed early. What's your court case? Oh, I'm suing Pop-Tarts because they didn't give me enough filling.
People want what they want.
That is
Give
fucking
them
pathetic.
what they want.
So pathetic. I'm actually so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed for her.
Well, that talk about Pop-Tarts reminded me of my obsession with the hot fudge sundae Pop-Tart. I was obsessed with that Pop-Tart. Like, I would walk with my $2 and go to that vending machine every day.
I feel like, I mean, you already know I was obsessed with Pop-Tarts. I would always take them back with me. I'm surprised I haven't got any. I think I'm Pop-Tarted out.
I think you were. You have been for sure.
Yeah, I've had too many.
Yeah, no. And I remember the vending machines I would go to, like, in the school where it was like, okay, this one has the freshest Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're so lucky you had vending machines in school.
I wouldn't say that. I think that's the very least the American school system could have given me. The very least. I always say, I think one of the things people always ask me, and they're like, oh my God, so what's America like? Like, what's the schools like? And I'm like, and I know it sounds dramatic, but I'm like, all right, my first reference is, have you watched Mean Girls? And they're like, of course. I'm like, that's what it's like. For me, it's like the click of it all. And yeah, I still, till this day, I can't get my head around the American school system and how different it is. Like, I feel like in England, because I obviously did a good chunk of my education in England and a good chunk of my education here, I've seen such differences. Like, obviously, we were in the same tutor set from the moment we stepped in to Holland Park till the moment we left.
Yeah, and then also in, like I was going to say, primary school, we can say Bassfield.
Yeah.
We obviously were in the same. So they were like
group.
2. What was it, like 2 years? Yeah. So there was like every year.
Year 6 something.
Was it like 6A and 6B or something like that? So yeah, we were in the same year as well.
It was consistency, because it was like, and then we had, the only thing that changed is each year you had a new teacher.
Yeah.
But we were in the same group, so we literally grew up. And I feel like it's so different, because when I think about like Chloe's school education, the school she's in now, now she's in the same kind of group, but she's mixed with like 12th graders, so she's got like different ages. She's got people younger than her, got people older than her in her class. For me, it was like, remember when we used to have school anxiety about the new term?
Yeah.
But what's mad is we had the same people. It was just like, oh my god, is this person different? Is this person different? I literally would walk into school and be like, I have to literally find a whole new way I'm going to class.
Yeah.
Never been to this section. Who's going to be in my class? And the schools are so big. Like, I genuinely wish I could walk you through the hallways of my school in Miami. Like, it was massive. It was just insane.
I remember when I went to, you did take me to, what was it?
My uni.
Yeah. I just remember like the pool and all of that. It was a really nice like campus, actually.
It wasn't bad.
But yeah, it's just a shame that the people weren't nice.
No.
But yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry you went through that.
It's alright. It's definitely a learning curve. Like, I genuinely have the stories I could tell you about the American system. Yeah. Like, the lingo as well. Like, I'll never forget when someone said to me, I see you and this guy are really, like, you've been talking, like, you lot are cool, like,
talking.
And then shit. I was like, yeah, no, we're cool. And like, so you guys are talking. I'm like, well, of course.
Yeah, of course we talk. We talk on the regs.
Like, I just spoke to him now, and they're like, okay. Oh, I saw this guy was talking to you. You're talking to him too? And I'm like, of course I am. Like, how are you supposed to have conversations with people?
Yeah, I talk to everyone. I'm a friendly person.
And then 2 twos, someone's like, it was this one person, I was saying it, and everyone's like laughing. I'm like, why is everyone laughing at that fact that I'm having conversations with people? Like, are you lot all slow? And then this one girl came up to me and she was like, babes, when they say talking, it means like you're talking to date or dating. I don't know what the fucking term was. And I was like, so the 10 guys that they've asked me if I'm talking to, I just said I am. And they were like, yep. So I'm like, yeah, cool. And that was really just the start of that for me. And then I remember when Josh came home from school and he was like, someone said the weirdest thing to me. And I was like, what is it? And he was like, this guy was like, hey, can I hold $1? And I was like,
oh my god, I remember that.
And he was like, I mean, I guess if you really want to hold it, like, whatever. And then he went to go put it in the vending machine. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing? That's my money. And he's like, I asked you if I could hold it. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And then you give it back. And he's like, no, I mean, hold it to keep it, to use it. And he's like, well, then just say that. There's so many things that I'm like, it would be so much easier to understand if you lot just said what you wanted.
Yeah, literally. Basic. Can I have $1, please? I'm hungry. I want to use your dollar.
Do you have a spare dollar?
Yeah.
Like, just hold it. What? Make that make sense.
I can't, I'm sorry.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, I swear to you. I don't know if it was like growing up in Miami specifically, because I can't speak if I grew up anywhere else in America, but it was interesting.
I wonder if it would have been different if you would have grown up in like New York. Because Maybe. New York is obviously very similar to London. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if it would have been different or if it would have just been the same as Miami.
I mean, the lingo is definitely different, but I feel like I can't even imagine going to like high school in New York. Like, what do their schools even look like? All I see is like, you know, there's the big skyscrapers and all the shops, but like an actual school, I don't know how that would even look.
I think I literally just think of like Gossip Girl.
But that was a private school now.
I know. Just them fancy schools.
I feel like I have no idea what that would look like, but yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah.
It is an experience. Like, I feel like every year I learn something new about this country.
Yeah.
Like, the newest...
You've been through it.
100%. The newest thing for me right now is, like, the whole giving birth and, like, how people... The amount I see people pay for babies. So, right, currently, where I'm working now, the ladies have their OB agreement and they're signing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This lady was asked, how much, you having a boy? She was like, yeah. And then, okay, well, to get him circumcised is going to be, with your insurance, I think it was like $365. And I was like, to chop off a bit of his willy.
That's so peak.
And I'm like, obviously I get that it's someone has to get paid to do it, but it's just like, obviously you don't pay to have kids in England.
Yeah.
In fact, you get a little bit of change to have a you, and it's just mad to me. But it's just like, that is basic shit. Like, it's basic stuff.
That's insane. I remember, was it a TikTok that I sent you of when it was like how Americans, you have to pay for like an ambulance?
Mm-hmm. I remember that TikTok.
Oh my god, that
I remember literally you sent me that TikTok.
I was so just gobsmacked. I could not believe it. I mean, I don't actually, I've never called an ambulance for like myself. But you know, just knowing I can for free. Sometimes if I'm just like, I'm having one of my dramatic moments, I'm like, I'm going to call myself a fucking ambulance because I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, the fact that I can't even remember how much, do you remember how much it was?
Yeah,
for an
typically, it can run you about $2,000.
Shut the fuck up.
Depending on
Stop it.
You know, what the situation is, what they need to do.
Oh my god.
So recently, at work, this lady had, I don't know what happened to her, but basically she passed out. And the ambulance came, and her husband ran in, was like, "Where is she? Where is she?" And I was like, "Oh, you're concerned husband, don't see him yet. No, she's coming, don't worry." And I was like, "Oh, you know, kind of trying to console him, like, oh no, they're gonna put her in the ambulance." And he was like, "Where is she? Is she in the ambulance now?" And I was like, why are you so pressed about her current location right now?" And I was like, "They're treating her." And he was like, "Is she in the ambulance?" And I'm like, "No, she's back there." And then I literally saw her go, they were putting her on the stretcher. And he bust through them doors and he was like, "I will drive her." Because the minute they put her in the ambulance,
Cha-ching. Yeah.
And he was like, "Does she need like oxygen or anything that's in the ambulance that I haven't got?" They were like, "No, she just needs to be like evaluated." And they were like, "Cool, I'm driving her." And I thought to myself, babes, that is a very smart thing you did, because that saved you about $2,000 minimum.
That is so crazy.
That's why, like, I genuinely think about when I've like, if there's something that happens to me in America, I genuinely calculate about, okay, right, so if I fall down, I break my leg and I need the ambulance, that's $2,000. Once I get to the emergency room with my insurance, I've got to pay $200 just to be seen. That doesn't include medication. That doesn't include any x-rays that they do. So, like, that shit, it's like I'm now in a mindset where I have to calculate, hey, okay, all right, how much is this going to be? What's this? What's that? Whereas I know people in England would literally go to A&E for a really bad migraine or just a headache.
I'm one of those people.
No, but that migraine you had was
no,
severe.
that was, I'm telling you, I had a brain tumour. I don't know where it went. That was not normal. It completely paralysed me to the point where I was trying to get some sleep. I put my head on my pillow and I was in agony. I couldn't move. My dad had to call like 111. I couldn't even speak to say like what was wrong with me. It was, and like, I don't even remember him like taking me to the hospital and stuff. And literally they just put me on a drip and was like, yeah, you had a really bad migraine. I was like, how the fuck can you have such a horrific migraine? But obviously like, I left and I was fine. Like, I didn't have to pay nothing. Didn't have to worry about anything.
Didn't have to worry about
I didn't have to be paid. to be seen, or didn't get a bill like on my way out. So yeah, like, and there's, you know, I've been in A&E multiple times and I've never had to pay anything, and it's not really something that I think of, because it's just always been that way.
Yeah.
So I genuinely don't know what I would do.
Genuinely,
over
like,
here.
But for me, because I've been in hospital care or medical care in England, but it wasn't that often. So for me, it would be very abnormal to get treated where obviously you pay for dentists, but like, you know, if I had like a toothache or a bellyache or something like that, and I'm like, okay, so before I leave or before I am even seen by the doctor, there's a copay, there's a charge of some sort.
Yeah.
To me, that's like so normal. So you pick and choose. It's like, okay, well, how badly do I need to be seen? And I know a lot of people that do that. I know a lot of people that are like, I can't afford to get this checked out right now. So it's going to have to wait. And like, come on, you don't want to be sick. You don't want to feel something that's abnormal and think, I can't afford to get that checked out. I'm just going to have it cotch.
Yeah, I know. It's something that I feel like if I were in your shoes and I had something wrong with me, I know I would be one of those people that's like, do I need to go? Like, I'd rather not spend that money on that. I'd rather treat myself to something else. Like, I'd rather do a Zara shop or something. I know I wouldn't want to put that money towards that, 100%. Especially having come from the UK and being so used to just having like free healthcare and stuff. So
I literally feel like
I get it.
Is it something Anna didn't even think? Can Anna didn't do the job?
Yeah.
If not, then maybe we'll evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just so many.
Yeah, I feel like we could go on for days, but right.
Maybe we will.
Let's wrap it off here, and maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point if we think of some more things we want to discuss. But thanks so much for listening, guys, and apologies, this was an audio only version, but you'll be seeing our faces very, very soon.
Very soon.
Take care, guys. Bye.